Have you ever signed a contract to purchase your dream home only to find out a week later that there are multiple liens on the property? Does that scare you? Or as a seller, are you concerned that a buyer is going to find out that you've got several liens recorded and try to back out of your deal? Well, it shouldn't scare you at all. See, a title company doing its job correctly, which most of them do, they're going to make all these liens go away. This is all part of what we call the real estate closing process. Hi, I'm real estate broker and real estate attorney David Dowell. Now, I've been doing closings for probably over 18 years now, and I can assure you that most sale transactions involve one or more liens on the property. A mortgage, that's a lien. The right to use the property. Maybe somebody put, a lien on there when they were putting on a new roof. You see, that happens. So there's always a lot of them. As a realtor, I've had several first-time potential buyers tell me that they're afraid to try to buy a home due to the potential liens on the property. I've also actually had sellers who are afraid to list their home for sale right now due to the buyers finding out there are liens. Guys, these aren't problems. You can relax, folks. Liens are part of the process. Every property has liens. Now, they may exist on your house, but they can be made to disappear just as quickly. In fact, most properties, like I said, have several on them. Most common liens include the current mortgage on the property. That's a lien. Past due HOA fees, happens to all of us. A construction lien from companies who maybe recently did work on your property, such as a roof work, a new pool, and so on. Liens could also come from an old court judgment, taxes owed. They can also come from someone else who has a similar name as you, but they don't really belong in your property. But whatever the source, the title company can deal with these, and they do deal with these. That's their job. Valid liens like a current mortgage, HOA dues, court judgments, they can be erased simply by paying them off at the closing. This means that the title company pays them off with the money that the buyer pays for the purchase price. Therefore, that will reduce the seller's proceeds. Construction liens are also very common. Typically, a worker who has contracted to do some work on your home, they file a construction lien before the work even starts. Then, after completing the job and getting paid, they're supposed to go release that lien by filing a document with the county records as well. But they frequently don't. And let me tell you, a lot of times they don't. So the title company simply reaches out to the worker or the company, confirms that they've been paid, and prepares a release for the worker to sign and record. It's that easy. I also see a lot of liens. Therefore, someone with a similar name as the seller, but it's a different person. For that, we simply have the seller sign what we call a non-identity affidavit, saying that they are not the person who's subject to that lien. But the bottom line is, liens are common, and most are really easy to deal with. So as a buyer or seller, don't let these bother you in any manner at all. They'll be dealt with. Remember, as a buyer, the title to the property has to be transferred to you without any clouds or liens. Clear title, as we say. And as a seller, most title companies usually make these disappear without your buyer really ever knowing that they do exist. But I do suggest that as either a buyer or seller, you do request a copy of the title commitment from the title company during the closing process. This document shows the results of the search and exam of the public records, probably the first thing the title company does. And it will show you there if there are any liens on the property. So even though they're going to be taken care of, it never hurts to stay on top of things just to make sure that it all gets done. Your realtor's supposed to do that for you, but they don't. But so just ask for that title commitment and follow it yourself. Now, if you have any other questions regarding liens or how they work or how they disappear, feel free to contact me with any questions you have. Thank you so much and have a good one. See you next time.